By August 1944, the Allies were doing surprisingly well in France. So well, in fact, that they had a plan for Paris, the heart of the nation. The plan was to completely ignore it. To Supreme Allied Command, Paris wasn't a symbol of liberty. It was a 4 million-person logistical migraine, a city that needed to be fed, powered, and policed. General Eisenhower saw it as an ink spot on the map, a tactical irrelevance to be bypassed in the race to Germany. Because nothing screams liberation quite like driving past the world's most famous city, waving and hoping for the best. The people of Paris, however, didn't get the memo about being strategically inconvenient. On August 19th, hearing the Allies were close-ish, the French forces of the interior launched a full-blown uprising. This was led by a coalition of Gaullists, communists, and everyone in between, armed with a charming collection of old rifles, pistols, and revolutionary spirit. They took over police stations and government buildings, which is a great move until you realize you're fighting German tanks with police revolvers. Frantic messages went out to the Allies, which basically translated to, "We've started the party, please bring an army before we all get killed." This put Charles de Gaulle in a bit of a pickle. An American-led liberation was bad for his brand, but a communist-led liberation was even worse. He flew to Allied headquarters and essentially threatened Eisenhower, saying that if the Allies wouldn't liberate Paris, his French 2nd Armored Division would just break off and do it themselves. It was a magnificent bluff. Eisenhower, not wanting a political disaster, caved. So the French 2nd Armored, under General Leclerc, got to lead the way. A wonderfully French victory, brought to you by American tanks, American fuel, and American supplies. Meanwhile, the German commander of Paris, General Dietrich von Choltitz, had his own orders. They came directly from a certain leader in a bunker, and they were simple. If you can't hold Paris, turn it into a field of rubble. Explosives were already wired to the bridges and monuments. Yet, Choltitz never gave the order. He wasn't necessarily a secret humanitarian. He was a career soldier who could see the war was over, and being remembered as the man who blew up the Louvre was a terrible resume builder. So, when Leclerc's forces arrived, Choltitz surrendered the city almost politely. Paris was saved not by a grand battle, but by a pragmatic German officer deciding to disobey a ludicrous order from a failing regime. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more historical insights. Thanks for watching, nerds!